Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with a recap. Who can remember what happened last session?
We went to Anemone Seas,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a gala happening hosted by Kai, who is the guardian of Anemone Seas.
Mm-hmm.
And while the gala was happening, one of the crabs, Henry, I believe, was his name. Was it
His
or something else?
name, it was not Henry, it was Howie.
Harry?
Howie.
Harry.
Oh,
Harry.
Howie.
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 Howie. Howie was kidnapped by quote unquote seagulls, and so we all went to go rescue Howie. And in the travel, we went to we had to go to I almost called it the Darklands, but the darker part of Anemone Seas on the beach. And there was a whole treaty between Kai and the Sirens, I believe. The Sirens didn't like that Kai was going back on the treaty, that anything that walked upon their land and stumbled into the sea was fair territory, that was theirs. And they started attacking us. Some people got bitten. I believe they're still being healed. I'm not too sure. I haven't been as active in the RP channels. And then we defeated the Sirens. Kai got bit. We found Howie, and it turned out to be a trap for specifically Kai. And there's the cult members. It was a quick battle. Like, the cult members just left an eerie message saying none of the guardians are safe. Kai was fine. We ended up going back to the party, and yeah.
Yep, that's a great recap. Thank you so much, Kiri. That was a great recap. So, you guys spend a few weeks in Anemone Seas. The alchemists and the herbalist and the healers all working very tireless together to find a cure for their bitten comrades who are going to eventually transform into these kind of like undead creatures. I believe the healers were successful, Nariko? Were they successful in their endeavor of curing this disease?
Yes, we were successful in curing the disease. Thank you to Kada, who sacrificed her sleepless nights and is now suffering the worst insomnia she's ever seen. She's lying catatonic from overdosing on the cure, but it's safe for the royals.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you, Kada, for your sacrifice if you're not here tonight, for being the guinea pig in order to heal the royals that got bit real bad. So that's wonderful. I'm glad the healers were able to get that done. Congratulations. So at this point, people are deciding like, hey, you know what? Let's move on from Anemone Seas. We've gotten bitten, we had fun. And you have all been invited to a festival that is happening in Lichen Tundra. And as you guys are kind of walking along the path, eventually the landscape slowly begins to turn into a snowy wonderland of shifting ice and ancient frozen trees. Some of them, upon inspection, have even been almost fossilized by this frost, forever frozen and no longer growing. And the world is vibrant here. You hear the sound of birds in the trees talking to each other. You see the little like white foxes running about in this area. In every time the sun kind of hits the ice or the snow, it just creates this prism of just beautiful glimmer across the sky and the snow. And as you all are walking, to Lichen Tundra, and you're kind of on the outskirts of this court. You see something kind of moving in the snow. You see what looks to be snow moving, but it's moving at this very steady pace of swaying back and forth, and you don't know what it is because it's very hard to see. Whatever it is, maybe it's a snow worm because of how wide it's stretched it is. It's huge. You have no idea what you're looking at. And then out of the corner of your eye, you see this little kind of gnome dressed in very warm clothing with a kind of a maddening look on her face as she's scribbling down something. What do you guys want to do?
I can't tell if Azukuro is just saying something.
I don't think he is. So.
Oh.
So what do you want to do, Princess Curie? You see this kind of shifting snow back and forth. It could be a worm. You see this little gnome all bundled up, seeming to be writing something down, and her eyes are trained on that area. So what do you want to do?
She's gonna carefully walk up to the gnome. She goes, excuse me. Are you all right?
They've come. Oh, Empress! Empress! Guardians! Oh! People I have never seen before. Not important, not important. They've come. It is terrible. They have come.
Who has come?
They came from the ocean. But that is only what I was told. But I saw them as they crested the hill this morning. I would recognize that seductive waddle anywhere. It is penguins! Penguins have invaded our land!
And as she says that, you see now they're coming closer into view. All of these penguins. There has to be 100,000 penguins here. There are so many. And they created almost like a camouflage, walking and waddling in a group, a tightly knit group. And leading all of the penguins is this kind of slightly smaller penguin, but in its flippers, it is holding a dagger made out of a diamond.
Oh, God.
As it begins to come up to you, holding its little dagger between its flippers, it looks directly at you all, and it goes, "Do you have gold? Do you have gold? Do any of you have gold?"
Are we
no gold, but very sharp fangs.
Well, you guys can't come in here because chicks fucking love gold. They don't accept the rocks anymore. So hand over your gold or your shiny shit, or you ain't getting through Lichen Tundra.
Zarina walks up behind Princess Curie and just drops a huge, heavy bag of gold out of her pouch into Kitty's hand.
Azukara very slowly but surely pushes a trembling trinket-bound rein behind him.
And you see, Curie, do you give this bag of gold to the penguins?
She just carefully holds it out with her fingers. She's just like, just take it, it's fine, take it.
The penguin goes and it stabs the bag in your hands. It doesn't scratch you or anything, and all the gold kind of trickle out, and you see some kind of beefier looking penguins kind of waddle up, and they kind of look at the gold they take it with their little foot, and they kind of bring it under them, and they
Zarina cuts in front of Princess Kitty while this is happening.
And they kind of Crystal kind of looks up at you, and this is a tinier penguin than these beefier guard penguins. And the penguin goes, "This ain't enough for all of you. All of you are rich. Look at all these shiny nobles and stuff like that. You guys better have more money than this. This is so pathetic. Hand over the gold."
Well, I don't have gold on me since I don't carry it on me, but I do carry a treasure map to gold.
We don't want that shit. We want the gold. Chicks love gold. Don't you get that? They don't want the stupid pebbles anymore. They want gold. Where's the gold?
I don't
Do
have
golden
it. I
mushrooms
hid
have-
it.
You hid your gold? Well, we ain't getting out of Lichen Tundra. We ain't gonna go search for your gold. You bring the gold here.
Well, the gold is here. It's hidden here.
Yeah,
if I give you a map, you can find it.
Well, you know, that might work with a lesser creature that doesn't have any brain power, but it doesn't work with me. I'm Empress Elysia's favorite penguin. She even puts a bow on me when I've done a good job, and she won't say I've done a good job until you hand over all your valuables. So go ahead and cough them up. You don't need them.
Question.
Yes.
Can Azukarosk attack the lead penguin?
Lichen was about to ask the same.
You guys, what are you doing to the penguin? How are you attacking the
more
penguin?
so silencing the leader.
You're gonna do what?
So since the penguin is the Empress's favorite, and we've already established some animosity towards the Empress back in Foxglove, I think sending a message to her to say, "Hey, your envoy isn't welcome," would be the best option here.
So you're gonna try to kill the penguin?
Not kill, but definitely kick across and/or use tail swipe to knock it clear across the tundra.
Okay, yeah, you kind of you do that. You kind of you punt we're gonna say you punt the penguin, okay? Because it's a penguin. Your tail punts the penguin. And then you realize that you have 100,000 penguins here that have just watched their leader be punted across the tundra and land in a snow pile. And it's an all-out war. You see one penguin whip out matches and a lighter. He is ready to light you on fire. You see all of a sudden a giant fish that you didn't even know the tundra had. And I need everybody to roll me a d20 because this fish is flying towards you. And it is trying to fish slap some of you. So everybody roll me a d20. If you get under a 12, you're getting slapped by a giant fish.
Let's go, Wolfsbane.
15.
14.
Okay, so
I got a 19.
A 19? Okay, so it looks like, ironically, Chef Monk, it seems that you are hit by a giant fish and you are now knocked prone. But you know what? It could be useful. It is fresh fish. It's just a giant fish, and you don't know how the penguins actually had the strength to throw this fish. And as you guys do that, you are literally gonna get robbed by these penguins. I hate to say this, but there are so many penguins. Even if you were to use all of your magic, there would be 5 more. So everybody in the party, at some point, you're going to get something stolen from you. You get to decide what is stolen, but the penguins are gonna steal something before retreating back into the tundra. So, there's just too many of them to even try to fight them all off, but they're gonna steal something from each and every one of you. And then they kind of flee after they've taken something.
Can I at least get a bite of one of them so I know what penguin tastes like?
The moment you try to bite one of them, you dig your fangs into them. It's like biting through diamonds. These penguins have been blessed by the Empress Elysia. Even if you try to bite through, you might chip a tooth if you go any further.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And they kind of look at you as you bite it, and it goes, "Yeah, you can't bite me. I got the blessing of the Empress."
And it stabs you in the ankle, and then it runs away. The penguins eventually flee further into the tundra, and you guys are kind of left alone, probably out of breath, tired, wandering through this tundra. But as you kind of look behind you, you don't see the way out. of this tundra. It has vanished from you. You just see snow and more snow, and you don't know where this court begins and where it ends. And you have no sense of direction here unless you are a native to these lands. There's no sense of direction, even if you have a compass, even if you have great senses, and you are now wandering in this frozen tundra. As the penguins, you can hear them in the distance mocking you. What do you guys want to do?
So Rain goes over to check on the princess, and then she kind of stands up and is like, "Is this truly how Lichen Tundra treats their guests?" And she's even more pissed off than she was when she first got here.
You kind of hear Kiri in the background just go, "What the fuck just happened?"
Got mugged by penguins.
Can we call in, can we get a guardian to call in a favor and call in Orin?
Does any of the guardians have a relationship with Orin? Orin is pretty elusive. Have any of them spent time?
Mara has, yes.
Mara? Okay. I mean, that's up to Mara. Maybe you should go ask her.
I've spent a little time with Orin.
Is that all that you guys are gonna say?
I'm gonna have Kiri try to fly or attempt to fly up to try to get a better look of the land.
As you do that, Kiri, you hear the giggle of something, and all of a sudden your wings freeze over and you plummet to the ground, into a giant pile of snow. And then as you kind of look up, you see these like tiny little ice fairies, and they go, "It's the festival time." Look,
Can I
you're
get
on the
some
ground.
snow, and use it to paint a map, like something from the tundra to make a map of the tundra?
As you try to do that, the snow makes a giant smiley face at you and swallows the painting as you finish it.
I worked hard on that.
Yeah.
At least in some reality. Darn it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you kind of like, it's awful. Like, you just worked hard to make this, and now it's just eaten by the snow, and the snow kind of like licks. You watch as like a snow tongue comes and licks the map clean, and just kind of like smiles at you. And it doesn't look a menacing smile, it just looks like a stupid smile. Like, it's clearly not smart, and it's clearly not malicious. It just thought it was funny.
I wonder if we try to get out of here, they'll start pushing us towards the center. Like, if we make our goal opposite of what we actually want, it could work that way.
Possibly, but what if they lead us somewhere else?
I mean, otherwise we're gonna stay here. Yeah. Exactly.
So what do you guys want to do? Do you want to try to call out for Orin to come and help you? Do you want to continue to try to go on your own? Do you want to... Okay. I don't know if Orin's going to respond to that. It'll be up to them. Orin, if you want to talk, you will have to unmute if you want to respond to that.
Oh, is someone calling me? That's weird. I don't really get a lot of people calling my name in this region. Is there someone calling me?
Yeah, you kind of like, as you kind of are minding your own business, getting ready for this festival, Orin, you kind of feel like something tingling you, like your shadow, like somebody's trying to like reach out to you, but you do feel a familiar presence here. One of the other guardians, Mahara, you know her, and you do sense her in your lands. Do you want to go to them, or do you want to continue working on the festival, Orin?
I feel obligated to go where I'm called. It's my duty.
Okay. So you easily, are you in your wild shape? Or are you in your human form as you're traversing the tundra? All right, I'm going to assume you are probably in your wild shape, traversing the tundra. You are kind of wailing through the frozen ice as you do. And as you begin to come up onto land, seeing a bunch of people lost in the beginnings of Lichen Tundra, which the forest there are very tricky. They have a lot of different spirits that like to play tricks on people and have fun. It's very playful energy. And you see a bunch of very lost-looking people. Do you go up to them? What do you want to do, Oren?
I will happily go in my human form, and that way I don't scare anyone.
Okay, yeah, so what does your human form look like as you kind of approach these? Because a lot of people have never even seen you before. You're very elusive.
My outfit is very sleek. Because my animal form is an orca, it resembles kind of the orca patterns of the black with the white, but then I have a cape that is iridescent and kind of mimics what the northern lights look like. So I give this like eerie but kind of light. People are usually unsure about me just because I give this sleek in the shadows kind of look, but also seems approachable. So I'm kind of this weird in between. People, because I'm elusive, people don't really know how to approach me.
Yeah, and everybody, as you watch this figure approach, even if you don't know them, you know their energy. This is the energy of a guardian. You can feel their kind of raw power, especially when they are in their own domain, as they approach you. What do you all want to do as you see this guardian approach you?
Kanara's gonna wave. Help,
it's a
please. She's just gonna ask for help.
Yeah, Zarina's gonna walk up to the front and kind of like rest a hand on Kitty's shoulder and say, or no, I'm sorry, Kitty's gone right now. My bad. She's just gonna be like, "Oh, great guardian Orin, can you help us traverse the realm? We've been robbed. All of us have been mugged by the penguins that guard this place. Can you help us find, um, where we're going?"
Oren, how would you like to respond to that?
Well, this is a very uncommon thing. Not many people come to our lands because they know they can get very lost here. See, only people that live here know how to get around, and it's a very dangerous area. What were you guys doing here to begin with?
We were invited.
And who
By
invited you?
the Empress. She said to come to the festival and to bring gifts. So we decided not to shirk that polite invitation.
Well, I'm happy to hear that you guys are attending. What exactly, how soon are you trying to get out of here?
Well, it really does depend on the festivities. We would not want to shirk our host.
And if I were to help you get out of here, what would you do for me?
Well, we do carry things from many different places if you're curious about other magical realms. But as far as I know, you'd rather have your space. Is there anything that helps your solitude?
Ah, very good. As you can tell, I am not a guardian who is focused on myself, but I'm more focused on my land and taking care of said land. What could you offer to protect my land and the people and creatures that live here?
As this is going on, Orin, you feel a little flapper on your leg patting you, and you see it is a little penguin. And the penguin looks up at you, Orin, and it says, "Orin, they punted me across the tundra. They punted me across the tundra, Orin. They're mean. They're so mean." And you see that this penguin is putting on the real waterworks. I mean, it is like full on sobbing. It is so cute. Orin, what do you want to do?
I see that you guys have run into one of my little friends. And I see that you might have done something that had made him sad. But be honest with me. Did he rob you?
Yes.
He did.
Yeah. 100%.
Was that before or after I launched him clear across the tundra?
I gave him gold before he robbed us.
He also
That is
threatened
true.
to stab me. So there's that.
Can I ask for him to return said goods?
He kind of looks at you, Orin, and they go, "Orin, they're so rich, they don't need it. We need it for the chicks. The chicks like the shiny stuff, and if we don't give it to them, they don't want to lay eggs. You know, Orin, the cycle of life says that we need these shiny things. Please, Orin, let us keep it. We're just poor, sad penguins. We have to hold things between our flippers. We do. Please, Orin, please, don't take away our stuff. We don't have much. We're poor, unfortunate penguins."
Your women sound like gold diggers.
Maybe if you worked on your personality, the chicks wouldn't care so much about gold.
I think you know as well as I do, little buddy, that we do not need gold here. What we need is the land, and that is our number one priority, is to make sure everything goes according to its rhythm and rhyme. Now I'm going to ask you again, will you please return these nice folks whatever you stole from them? It is not yours. We don't need it here.
But we already ate it.
What?
What?
Jerks.
I'm sorry, my
Yeah,
belt got eaten?
This
We
sometimes
kept it.
happens.
We kept it for safekeeping. I mean, you can have it back, but it's gonna take some time.
Zarina whips out a knife and says, "Not that much time."
Yeah, it's not gonna work. We're blessed by the Empress Elysia. You can't stab us. Go ahead and try, Fluffernutter.
Yeah, are your insides blessed? Because you
I
just
have to
swallowed
do
a dagger.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Azuthrop rears back and raises celestial flame with his fingers. I guarantee Diamond is not strong enough to withstand the universe.
Look at them
Okay,
orange. They're
we are
so
not here to
violent.
do battle. We are here
I
to
am.
come for a party.
Yeah. And did you guys know that it's the Empress Elysia's birthday? Did you guys even prepare birthday gifts, or are you guys all stupid?
We
Where do you
did
think the
prepare
bag of
birthday
gold
gifts.
was for?
Nah, she doesn't need that shit. She likes other shit than that.
But here's the thing. I do know that penguins regurgitate, so I know you could throw it up if you wanted to.
You don't want what's in our stomach to be thrown up. It ain't gonna be the same. I mean, I can try it. You want me to puke on your foot? I'll puke on your foot.
You could try to hit my foot.
I'll puke on it.
You can
I'll
try.
do it. I'll do
You
it.
can
And
try.
he starts to puke. Go ahead and roll me a d20. Let's see if you can miss the penguin regurgitation. As
Well,
the
that's a
penguin
nat
begins
20.
to yeah, so it kind of throws up on Orin's foot instead. As like it pukes up a little piece of gold that it had from Zarina. So there is a regurgitated piece of gold on your foot now, Orin. What do you want to do?
Take a while to retrieve your presence. But listen here, little buddy. If they are not, all the goodies are not out of you here soon, you know exactly where I'm going to send you. Back to where my other orca friends are, and they can deal with you there.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it's okay, Guardian. We're gonna get them back. They're just not gonna be the same. They're not gonna be the same. And I'm gonna go tell Empress Lysia that you guys are full of shit. And it begins to waddle away.
Faerie races after it, and she's like, "Nope, I'm not going to do this." She picks it up by the scruff.
What are you doing to me? Put me down. This is inhumane. I am a penguin. I am not a cat.
She's like, "I need you to give those back. If not, this hand is going into your little mouth, and then down your little throat, and then into your stomach. Do you want that to happen?"
Roll me a d20. He's gonna try to throw up on your face.
Hold on, sorry. Eesh. That is a 18.
Yeah, so he regurgitates whatever it is they took from you, and it just kind of lands in the snow.
He's like, put me down. You got what you want. You ungrateful little princess. This is why we don't like people here. Y'all suck. None, no hospitability.
And she puts the little penguin down, but she kind of just like tosses. You know how you when you kind of like when you're putting a pet outside,
Mm-hmm.
go outside, like kind of like that.
Yeah, you just kind of toss it, and it kind of goes into a snowbank, and it just, it doesn't hurt it, but it just kind of is punted into another snowbank.
This is undignified.
And then as it's saying that, Oren, you see, with a look of great concern on his face, one of the guides begins to run up. He's in this very sleek kind of black armor that's very easy to see. He has kind of whitish hair, and he comes up and immediately bows to you, Oren, and goes, "My guardian, I'm so sorry. I sensed them and got caught up in the festivities. Apologies, but I'm here to guide those that received the invitation to the festival." And he just kind of gives like this kind of deep bow, and doesn't even rise from the bow. He just kind of is very humble. What do you want to do, Oren?
I'd love to escort them myself, but thank you so much for offering.
Of course, my lady. That is no problem. And he kind of like looks a little flustered, honestly, that he messed this up and wasn't there to kind of get the penguins to not rob people, and kind of just walks alongside very quietly as you begin to guide them to the festival. And as you guys begin to get closer, you see people have some colorful barrels put up. You see a bunch of fish stacked up. And these are huge fish. Like, these are probably the size of tuna. Like, they are huge fish. And as you guys begin to get closer, you see one of the denizens of the court turn to you, and they actually look human. And they just kind of smile and wave at you. What do you guys want to do?
Did we all get our belongings back from the penguins, or just Kiri?
It's gonna be a process. You're not gonna get them back all at once, but you'll get them back by the end of the session. A penguin will come up, you'll make a roll, and they'll puke or not puke on you to get your item back.
Great.
I love this. So, like, an actual human or just looks human?
You don't know, but they look very human to you. It could be an actual human. They kind of smell a little bit human too. And they just kind of wave at you.
Even-
I'll wave back.
Even though, like,
Confused, but I'll wave back.
Princess Kiri?
even though like she's like almost freezing cold, her wings are still frozen. She like puts up a hand shaking. She's trying to bow, but her wings, they're like, every time she tries to move them, they're kind of like stuck and they hurt to move. So she's gonna put her hand like a, hey, what's up?
They kind of come up to Orin, and they pull down their giant kind of padded hoods, and you see very slightly pointed ears. These are actually humans that have stayed long enough in the tundra that they have become Fae themselves. They have been changed by the land. And they greet Orin and very warmly smile at all of you and go, "Welcome to the birthday celebration of the Empress Elysia and the Winter Festival. We're going to be celebrating the rising of the sun after the winter solstice. It's after the darkest part of winter. And we have a fun game if you guys would like to participate. We actually just pulled out the fish from the sea. They're fresh. But we have a fish throwing contest for anybody that thinks that they're brave enough, it's strong enough to do so. It's a show of strength, but it's something small. I know you probably all are here for your grandness, and the Empress should be here shortly. I know that she was putting the final touches on things. But what do you say? Would you guys like to throw a fish?
Why not?
Lightning will gladly accept the offer.
Okay. And Azugarosk, are you going to also try to throw a fish?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely jumping in on this one.
Okay, so you like pulling off your shirt, like gonna like show off as you're like gonna throw this fish. This is gonna be kind of like
Well, now that you say it, yes.
Okay, cool, awesome, cool. We're gonna have some entertainment. Anybody else joining in the fish throwing contest?
Arizona will as well. She's kind of annoyed at the situation so far, and she's just itching to just kind of get some of that energy into something, and throwing that fish sounds like a delightful way to do that.
Perfect. All right. Anybody else throwing a fish?
I'm not
Exactly
throwing a
there with
oh, I'm
Arizona.
sorry. I'm not throwing a fish, but Empress Elysia is here, and she's watching. She's watching. So the festivities have finally begun, huh? Took them long enough to come here. They should have come 30 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago. What was holding them?
Oh no,
I-
you're penguins.
A roving pack of penguins.
I thought the path was cleared. I thought I set the hunters out to clear the path. Should have been a rainbow road to our kingdom, clear of any nuisances. But apparently, the penguins have managed to get their hands on the tourists again, and I thoroughly apologize. I now have a new reward. For anyone that wins the tuna throwing contest, you will have your opportunity to slap the fish against a penguin of your choice. A penguin that has gotten on your nerves. You will be able to take this large fish and slap them back into the ocean. And whoever throws that penguin farthest into the ocean will win a prize. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but probably your gold. Maybe. We'll have to check. I'll have him check on the restrooms. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not touching that, but I'm sure someone will check on for you. That is my obligation as Empress. Yes.
All right. So those participating in the fish toss, you are going to roll a d20. But if you are strong, like you are a character that fights and that carries a longsword, or that has, we'll just say that you are stronger than the average person, you can add a +5 to your roll. If you are not a strong person and you do not work out or do things like that, you can add a -5 to your roll. And that is going to even the playing field for those that specialize in this versus other things. So go ahead and tell me what, or put it in chat what your role is, and we will describe how this goes. So you add a -5 if you are not strong, like you are not a character that is strong, you're more magic based. And if you are strong, you can add a +5. So those, like for example, King Lichen is gonna add a +5. He's very physical. But Narcoco is probably not physical and she's gonna have a -5. So like that's just,
I mean, I run good.
And this thing is heavy, so you're gonna have to be strong enough to toss it. But okay. So King Lycanen, you throw yours fairly far. And you're kind of the first one up to the bat. You kind of set a really high standard. And then you watch the Guardian Mahara kind of come up, and it does not go far. It does not go far at all. It goes like not even half the distance of yours. And you can kind of see how do you look right now, Keeks? Like what is your face as you watch your fish go? Like what does that look like to you? Like are you embarrassed or how are you feeling about this fish throwing?
Well, first of all, when I threw my fish, I turned into my wild shape, the seal, because I really felt like that was gonna help me. Because, seals are really good with fish.
Yeah,
So I did a couple circles, I spun around really fast. It didn't go very far. So yeah, I'm pretty embarrassed.
Yeah. And it looks pretty cute though, let's be honest. It looked pretty cute watching the seal kind of do a little bit of a circle and then throw it, but and then Lady Frostbane, you throw yours and it goes very, very far. And so does Chef Monk. I mean, Chef Monk has a bit of an arm on him. And then you watch as hi, Maggie Zarina. Yours doesn't even go as far as Mahara. Like it doesn't go far. I mean, it barely leaves an arm's arm's length away. Like you pulled it off the rack and it just didn't go. It just went a foot.
Wait, I know exactly what happened. I fumbled it. I grabbed it. I meant to throw it. You saw the power in the arm, but then I just it slipped out of my hands and I just fumbled it into the water.
Yeah, and Queen Desana, you feel kind of good. You get yours farther than a Guardian did in their seal form. And you're like, man, maybe I am really powerful and strong. My fish went farther than hers. It's pretty good. And then Empress Arasana, yours only goes an inch farther than the Guardians, and is just an inch. You were able to kind of use your smarts to kind of get it over your shoulder to toss it, but it only went about an inch, and that's it. And then Azukarosk, you went into this testosterone going, blades of glory, and then you watch as your fish doesn't even get as far as King Lycanen. And it feels like if there was another dragon present, you would probably never live this down for the rest of your life. Is there another dragon present from the Horde? Is Nyxaria here?
Nyxaria is here.
Okay, well, Nyxaria, you just witnessed something that could probably be good blackmail in the future. So good luck to you, Azukarosk. And then oh shit, Nyxaria, you're like, you know what? It's only fair if I try it too. So you kind of go and you throw it, and yours goes even farther than Azukarosk, which is crazy to you. You're just like, wow, I did it, and that's pretty amazing. Did I miss anybody that threw? I don't think I did. So the obvious winner of this fish throwing contest is King Lycanid. So you are given a smaller fish to slap a penguin with to punt it into the ocean. Which penguin is appearing before you that is going to get bitch slapped into the ocean? King Lycanid, what is your penguin of choice?
Yeah. So Lynic, I guess I'm gonna pick the ringleader of the penguins just because they're the most annoying.
Okay, yeah, and they are dragged out in bony cuffs but the cuffs don't really fit on the flippers, so it's more of like this bony necklace around their neck.
And he's like, let me go! I belong here! I'm the Empress's favorite! I was her birthday gift! You can't do this to me! Empress, don't let them punt me into the ocean! I only did this to get you gifts for your birthday. Don't let them do this, Empress! Empress!
Actions have consequences, and this will make for a perfect birthday gift. What did I tell you about harassing the tourists? I've said it once, and I won't say it second again. This is your punishment. If I say this, I will have your chicks taken away. I will call CPS.
Not the chicks!
Creature Protective Services.
No, not them! No!
All right, King Lichen, roll me a d20, add +5. Let's see how well you punt this penguin crystal into the ocean.
All right. That's an 18.
Plus
with the +5.
5?
With the
Okay.
+5.
So yeah, so you get your good arm and you slap this penguin and it goes flying into the ocean. Oh my gosh. I don't know who's doing that, but it's fucking hilarious. And as you do, the penguin goes into the ocean and it just it fishes there, so it's fine. But it just kind of looks out and looks at you, and it goes,
I will return in your dreams. You won't escape me. I'll come to where you live. I'll steal your chicks. I'll steal your girls. And they'll be mine. And I will take everything from you.
and then it dives under the water and goes to eat.
I think he'd make a great teacup.
He would definitely be thrilled enough to let you know when the tea was over.
It would be a fun thing. The denizens begin to laugh. To them, it's comical. To you, it's probably personal at this point. But they laugh nonetheless. And kind of gather you around to sit around kind of like this fire. It looks like it's blue. It's kind of like translucent. It's really pretty. But it's not burning trees. It's burning like these kind of glowing crystals, but it's warm. They kind of gather you all around to kind of sit and enjoy this kind of warmth. And it's just a strange thing. You've never seen something that doesn't burn fire. What do you guys want to do? That doesn't burn wood, not burn fire, whatever.
I want to get a good look around. Like, are there places that guests aren't going? Like, what's around us? What's our festivities look like?
So all of Lichen Tundra is kind of snowy. You see big snowbanks. You see some children making snowmen. You see other people kind of warming themselves by the fire, but there's tons of it's so kind of hilly with the snow. You can see some people sneaking behind probably to do some stuff, some adult stuff. And there's tons of areas you can go be a fox in if you want.
Well, I'm mainly looking for places that are guarded.
Yeah, you do see two of those kind of hot silver white-haired guards kind of guarding what looks to be kind of this building made out of glittering stone.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get in there sneakily.
Okay. You kind of skirt the outside of the building, but you don't really see any kind of hidey hole in. Are you gonna try to dig into it, or what are you trying to do?
So, is it there's no openings where I can reach, or is it there are no openings at all?
So it's tightly packed like rocks. So, I mean, unless you're gonna dig through them, it's in a circular fashion. You don't even know what it's for. They're just guarding it. But you can't see inside.
Can I paint myself a doorway?
Yeah, you kind of pull out your paintbrush and you paint yourself a doorway. And as you kind of open up the doorway, you see that the guards are guarding the most giant birthday cake you have ever seen. It seems that it is even a secret from Empress Elysia herself, but is a giant ass birthday cake. It is so big, it is the size of the building. You don't even know how they're gonna get the cake out of the building because the doorway is way too small.
Okay, I'm gonna leave a foxglove flower right next to like the cutting utensils. Not touching anything because they are toxic, but like close. That's the first thing you see if you want to go cut the cake.
Okay, yeah, it's there. And you kind of get out, and if you decide to vanish the doorway is gone. Your deeds
I'm
are
gonna vanish that
unknown.
doorway.
Yeah, you kind of unpaint it and bring it back to its natural splendor. What are the rest of you doing?
Faerie's gonna go by the fire, like kind of where people are trying to warm up, and she's gonna take the cloak Zarina gave her off for a minute and just try to let her wings unfreeze.
Yeah. You see one of the hunters kind of come up to you, and I will say that this dude, the cold doesn't bother him anyway. And you see his eyes kind of have this like bluish glow to him, and he goes, "My lady, did those nasty little fairies spell you?"
She's like, I was trying to get a better lay of the land, but they were so mean.
Yeah, they have quite a temperament on them, you know. The only person they ever listen to is Orin or Empress Elysia or the lady, Sharnay. They don't listen to anybody else. They have no respect. But I do know a bit of magic here. If you don't mind, I'll help you with this. I'll get them undone for you.
And she gives him a small nod, giving him her consent to touch her wings.
Okay. He kind of reaches out. You can see his eyes begin to glow kind of like this bluish color. And he touches your wings, and you can feel the warmth of his hand slowly warming your wings up. And as they do, the ice around them shatters and your wings are free. And he goes, "Sorry about that." Again, they don't listen to anybody else but those three.
And she goes, it's no worries. It is very, very cold here. I was not expecting the lands to be this cold.
Yes, it is miserable for those that aren't here. And he kind of takes off his white kind of like over jacket, and his chest is already bare. And he kind of drapes it over you. It instantly feels so much warmer. This kind of shirt is definitely magical of some nature, and you instantly feel a lot better. Like it's more manageable. You can still feel the cold, but it's better.
You see her cheeks kind of flush a bit pink, and she goes, thank you.
Of course.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, that was it.
Yeah, and he kind of goes, "Our Lady, Empress Elysia, trained us well. We are to take care of all those in need. And if you find yourself in need, just go to her for the blessing." And he kind of reaches out, he takes your hand if you're willing, and he kisses it in a very knightly way.
And she kind of goes, the blessing?
Of course, the blessing of lovemaking. You have to go to Empress Elysia to receive it, but if you need services, you're more than welcome to partake.
Her face immediately just goes red, and she goes, I think I hear my high magi calling for me. Thank you for the
Of course.
for the coat, and she runs off.
I heard mention of a castle.
Yeah, there is a glittering castle in the distance. It looks like it's entirely made out of diamonds. It's just a beautiful, beautiful castle. But the festival part is happening outside of the castle.
Gotcha.
Princess Zarnari of Saffron Sands. If you do say you are cold, a man will strip his shirt and give it to you for warmth. The moment you voice that, he is there giving you the shirt, and you realize that this is like a cue. Like if you decide to go get the blessing of Empress Elysia, you know it's a consensual like courtship, but it's much casualer. So that is an option for you. Empress Elysia, what are you doing right now as these people are warming themselves up by your fire? There has a game to be had. It looks like the shamans are preparing for a ritual of sort. What are you doing right now?
I'm fussing over. Well, I'm used to the cold, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm fussing at the attendees. I'm like, we need more fire. We need heat. Bring the best fur coats that we have. Bring everything. We need to keep them warm. My reputation is at stake because of those damn penguins. I hate them. I mean, no, I don't hate them. They're delightful. They are just a nuisance sometimes, and they've made it a little harder for me to possibly secure allyships, but that's completely okay. We just need to impress them with furs and luxury, hot chocolate, tea, the best teas that we can find. We have teas from the Hyacinth Falls. We have fires and crystals from the Artesimia Hoard. Like, bring all of those, make a beautiful I don't know, do something to heat it up, or maybe they can go to the sauna later. I have no idea. I'm stressed about my birthday. There's a lot of stuff going on. She's just like, you know, she's trying to keep her cool, but like she's like blinding everyone because, you know, she's so overwhelmed, and like her magic is just like going all over the place. So she's like literally blinding everyone as she's like yelling at attendees like, do this, do that. Like, did you ask them if they're okay? Like, why are you standing there? Like, these are guests and all that stuff.
Yeah. And you see the attendants are kind of running back and forth. You know, people are getting hot tea in their hand. They're pulling out all the stops. They're just lugging stuff from the castle and like throwing furs on people. Even if it doesn't look like they need it, they are being thrown a fur like cloak over them. And people are being taken care of. And they're panicking just as much as you are. Like the moment you say do this, do that, they are running around trying to appease that. What are the rest of the royals, nobles, and guardians doing as you're kind of watching this? Like, what are you guys doing?
Is Oren still here?
Yeah, I think Oren's still here.
Processing how my princess treated our sweet penguin folk, and I'm just biting my tongue, just trying to not say anything to her because fish throwing is tradition, but harming other creatures is not part of tradition. So I'm having a hard time processing this because it's her birthday. It seems like she's being a little bit of a diva, and now is not the time to mention it, but it is a little bit like, I would have not done that in front of our guests, and it's not a reflection of what Lichen Tundra is.
So I want to go up to Oren as she's kind of standing back contemplating, and I want to ask her if she so part of my backstory is before I got to Wolfsbane Wood, I lived on Lichen Tundra, but not in the royal court, not anywhere near where everybody really is. But I have seen Oren. I have even talked with her once, and I would like to see if she remembers me. So I go up to her and I ask how she is doing. Is she doing well? And how things on the Tundra are doing.
Well, thank you so much for asking. Things are going so well. And how are you doing? I haven't seen you in such a long time. The last time we spoke, you were telling me about a couple of things that you wanted to accomplish. Were you able to reach those goals?
Really, I was not. I had some tragedy happen here in the Tundra, and I became a wanderer for a while, but I am so happy to see you, Oren. You are one of the people that I miss from my time here.
Well, you know you always have a place here in the Tundra. Once home, always home. And if you ever need me, you can always call.
Lady Urendra bows slightly to Oren and then moves closer to the fire and just starts staring into it reflectively with a bit of a tear in her eye.
What are the rest of you doing? Other than suddenly being scolded for punting a poor penguin into the water. You know, they didn't have diamond skin. Any other shenanigans? You guys are all eerily quiet.
Rain is also going to kind of slip away and see if she can find any other hidden spots that she can get into with her shadows.
Okay, so what are you going up to the castle? Are you trying to break into the birthday cake area?
I'm gonna see how close I can get to the castle.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of get kind of closer to the castle, but it's very heavily guarded by these very hot knights. They all kind of have the same silvery hair, and they kind of regard you and they go, my guardian, I'm sorry, but the castle is off limits while the Empress is busy. I would suggest you go back to the party. And you can see that the moment you kind of get close, there seems to be some type of spell on this castle. Like they kind of can get a hint of where you're at, even if you're kind of trying to elude yourself. What do you want to do?
I'll go back to the party for now.
They kind of give you a nod of understanding, and they just kind of watch you go, and then return their focus back to where they're at. And what are the rest of you doing?
I want to smell someone's hot chocolate wistfully because I can't drink it.
So you want to smell somebody's hot chocolate?
Yeah, because it smells great.
Okay. Who
Someone
has
will
hot
offer me a
chocolate?
smell. Can I smell your hot chocolate, please?
Yeah, who
I
has
have
it?
hot chocolate.
Okay. Yeah, you can go sniff Arsana's hot chocolate.
Thank you, Arsana. You're so kind.
Yeah, it smells good. Like it's sugary. It smells sweet. You know, it smells good. Can't drink it, but it smells good. Sucks being a wolf. Is anybody else doing anything as the shamans seem to be preparing some type of ritual?
Is there a dais? Like the Empress have like a dais or a special place that she sits?
Do you, Empress Elysia?
Repeat the question.
Like, do you have a dais? Like, I'm sure like you would have a place to sit for when you're like gonna accept gifts.
Oh yeah. It's usually just around like the fireplace. Wherever the fire is, everyone sits in a circle. The circle represents life, so it's nothing too fancy, you know. She's just grateful that everyone's able to attend, even though like various things have happened. So she'll just gratefully accept gifts. She's very humble about that kind of stuff.
Okay, gotcha. I just want to see if I can sneakily put some foxglove flowers on like the seat that she would sit on.
Yeah,
sure.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
I would say that, you know, people are busy. You know, you could easily find a good opportune moment to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Because that's kind of just what I'm doing. I'm just finding secret places to put foxglove flowers.
You know, perfect. You can just stuff some in snow piles too. Like you can just go at it, go ham. Just put them everywhere.
I'm going ham, and I'm also seeing if I can magically plant some so that like the snow, just so that they're like more lasting, not just like they're gonna be frozen or something like that.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a d20. Let's see if you can channel your a kind of druidic power into this land.
That's an 18.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to have it take root in kind of the frozen soil here. You have a feeling that it will last some time. Chef Monk, what are you presenting with the salmon to Empress Elysia? And is there enough for everybody? Because that looks good. So I hope there's enough for everybody. Wonderful.
I believe it's he has a large collection of said flowers, and this was from the large fish that slapped him.
Yeah,
So I believe it might be of a perfect quantity.
Awesome. So everybody kind of gets like this finger food of like salmon prepared by Chef Monk, and it always is much more delicious than you thought it would be. And as you guys begin to kind of snack on this food, you see this shaman kind of guiding you all to the circle to sit down. And a bowl of water is placed kind of in the middle of the circle. The fire is kind of temporarily subdued, and it doesn't seem to be as warm anymore. And the shaman kind of looks out to all of you that have gathered present and says, "Blessed be the tears of Empress Elysia, who has now been purified by the magic of Lichen Tundra. If you would like to be blessed by these cleansing powers, step forth."
Arizona will step forward.
Okay. Arisana, you step forward, and the shaman kind of reaches into the bowl and lifts up this piece of seal meat that appears from nowhere. It's fried with lard and seasoned with the petals of the moonflower, and she hands it to you. She goes, "This will imbue you with the strength that you need to do something in the future. Take it and snack on it at your convenience." And she hands you this kind of warm seal meat. Anybody else would like to receive a blessing?
Okay, stupid but serious question. If we receive a blessing, are we beholden by anything?
You don't seem that Arasana was beholden by anything. It just seems to be a generous offering.
Generous with the Fae is always a double-edged sword. What's the catch?
My bro, you are Fae too, so it's like talking to your own kind. You don't sense any bad intentions of the shaman, and it seems that this is maybe a ritual that is bound to the land, and it's not meant to impose any other intentions other than a blessing.
Solid. You said snacks and free blessings. I'm in.
Yes. So as the shaman kind of reaches out, she presents an ox steak right on the bone. And it has like, it comes out on a plate with like mashed potatoes on the side with sprinkles of Blagaris horn. And man, this is fit for a dragon. You ain't gonna lie, you were expecting seal meat and you got an ox steak on the bone. And it's kind of presented to you.
And the blessings keep rolling in.
Yes. And the shaman kind of looks at you, Azukarosk, and says, "I know that the moon calls to you, and the moon is closer here than in any other court. One day, if you wish to call to it here or sing to it here, you're more than welcome to be here. Great, Azukarosk." And the shaman kind of gives you a very polite bow.
He stares at her for a few minutes, remembering that the moon has shattered, remembering that the voice he used to know is no longer singing in harmony with him across the sky. The first bite of the oxtail kind of helps him forget a bit about that.
And it is good. It is so good. It is probably the tastiest ox steak that you've ever eaten. And Princess Curie, I believe you were going to receive a blessing too?
Yes.
Wonderful.
She's still holding on to the coat that the knight gave her.
Yeah. And it is a warm coat. Like, even with the fire gone, you're not shivering anymore. You're just like comfortable. And so you go up and you receive a dried kelp wrapped around white rice with a drizzle of honey and seal's blood on top. And it's kind of handed to you. And the shaman kind of looks at you and goes, "Yes, it would be good to add a little bit more color into your cheeks." It's what the blood's for. It doesn't taste bad. It's been cooked properly, so just, try a little bit.
And she goes, okay, thank you. And she bites into it.
It's really good. It's very well seasoned. If she hadn't told you that it was seal's blood, you probably wouldn't have even known.
And she kind of lets it, like, the texture in her mouth, like, reminisce about what she is eating. But the word color is like hanging on to her in her mind, and she steps back.
Wonderful. Yeah, it doesn't taste bad. It's just different. And as you do, you feel very empowered by this. Is anybody else getting any food?
I will.
Okay. As you kind of step up, the shaman kind of looks at you and gives you a soft smile. And as she kind of digs into the bowl, she kind of looks a little worried. And she goes, my dear, I don't think this is edible. And she hands you a Foxglove Glen flower.
It is for me, and I am so happy with that.
Yeah, and she's just kind of confused, honestly. Like, she kind of looks at the bowl and looks back at you. She goes, I'm sorry, I don't actually think that that's edible. Please don't eat that.
Okay.
And she kind of looks to the group. Anybody else need a blessing?
Indra has stepped forward.
Okay. As you step forward, the shaman kind of dips her hand into the bowl, and out she pulls is this kind of like, it's kind of like fried kelp with a side of honey marinated seal fat, like you're eating it like a dip almost. And she kind of hands it to you, and she goes, "Here you go. Add some strength to you."
She looks up, gives a small smile and a small bow.
Not sure how to help you with that.
And thanks and moves away.
And I believe the King of Wolfsbane Woods, you wanted one too?
Yeah, I'll take a blessing.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of get up there. The shaman kind of smiles at you and digs her hand into the bowl, and out she pulls a kind of like, it looks like a little like salted cookie, and she kind of hands it to you, and she goes, "I know that you can't have the hot cocoa, but hopefully this will warm you up instead." It's just a really warm cookie, like it's just come out of the oven, like that kind of like warm, softness. And she kind of just smiles.
Love cookies.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Rain will step up.
You step up, and she kind of digs into the bowl, and she goes to present you something, and again, a piece of foxglove like flour comes out, and she looks horrified. She's like, "What is going on with this bowl? I'm so sorry, dear, but I guess this is what it's giving you." And she hands you, but the foxglove flour has been fried. You don't know how, but it's not edible, but it's been fried, and she kind of just hands it to you, confused.
Rain just starts laughing and takes the fried flour and goes, "I'd really like my belt back," and then kind of stalks off.
Okay. As you do, a penguin waddles up to you. Roll me a d20.
13.
Okay. It pukes on your foot. But your belt comes back to you.
Awesome.
I mean, you can clean it off with some snow. But, yeah. Anybody else? All right. As you guys are eating your food or looking at the strange things that have come out of this bowl, the shaman looks at Empress Elysia and goes, "Are you ready to begin the other part of the ceremony, my Empress?"
Yes, please continue.
Wonderful. She gets up and puts a cup into the bowl, and the rest of the water that is in the bowl flows into the cup, and she takes a sip and she passes it to a knight beside her. He takes a sip and he passes it to the High Maggie. High Maggie, Zarina, do you take a sip?
Yeah, I definitely take a drink. Why not?
Okay. You take a drink of this and you start seeing the world around you in this prismatic color spray. You know, every time the light touches something, this stuff feels good. Do you pass it on?
Do I pass it on to the next person? Yeah.
Yeah. Princess of Foxglove Glen, you get the cup. Do you take a drink?
No.
Okay. You pass it on to Chef Monk. Chef Monk, do you take a drink? You take a drink, Chef Monk, and a piece of your hair turns white. But it's good. You got like a streak of white in your hair somewhere. It feels like some kind of magical effect has taken over you for some time. Azukarosk, you are past the cup. Do you take a drink from it?
Yes.
Okay. As you do, your whole skin begins to glow and sparkle.
Every time I glow and sparkle, something bad happens.
Yeah. It's very ominous.
It's the skin of a killer.
Is it just the golden scales, or is it all of the scales?
All of you is glittering. Like, that's
great.
visible. That's visible. Like, your clothes don't glitter, but your skin glitters.
Question. Because I feel like I should be feeling powerful right now. Am I allowed to take another turn with throwing the fish?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you are feeling empowered by this drink. You are sparkling. People are looking at you and kind of like this, like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Go ahead and roll me a d20 and add +5, and let's see how far you can throw this fish this time.
I got a 19.
Hell yeah. Is that with your +5?
With my +5, that would drop me at 24.
Oh, wonderful. So you are feeling empowered. You have eaten, you have dranken the good soup, and you throw this fish farther than anybody else has thrown it. And, you know, you see King Ligneck's little fish, you outthrow him, and you have regained your honor, sir.
Honor.
You've done it. Arasana, are you taking a drink from the cup?
Yes.
Wonderful. As you take a drink, you see that a bunch of silver hair beads suddenly appear on one strip of hair. All of them have different kind of designs on them of seals and fish and stuff present to Lichen Tundra, but you now have kind of like a weird magical braided strand of hair. King Ligneck, are you drinking from the cup?
Yes, I will take a drink.
Okay, as you take a drink, you watch as your knuckles begin to have like some kind of like gold on them, and you realize that your knuckles are like 10 times stronger than they should be. You feel like you could punch something and maybe break a tree. You've been magically altered in some way.
Nice.
Lady Frostbane, do you take a drink?
Absolutely.
As you take a drink, you don't really feel any effects at first, and then somebody says, "Oh my gosh, your eyes." And your eyes are sparkling like galaxies for a short time, before you kind of blink away. But as you kind of look up into the sky, you see the galaxies above you in clarity, even in the daytime, which is so strange, but so interesting to you now. Every time you look up, you'll be able to see the galaxies, no matter if it's day or night.
She is staring at the sky in wonder, and then stares over at Azukarosk, finally understanding him a little bit more, and then resumes staring at the sky.
Marquise, are you going to drink from the cup? Marquise,
if only if it's warm.
It is warm.
Then the Marquise gladly takes the cup and slings it back as fast as she can.
As you do, that warmth kind of fills your body, and you're suddenly, the cold never bothered you anyway. You are now immune to the cold. Mahara, do you drink from the cup?
Yes.
As you do, you thinking about, I think at the time you watched people eat like seals and this a little bit like, what the hell? And then you kind of drink this back and you feel like this great vigor inside of your body. And then you watch on your arm as a tiny little penguin mark appears on your skin. It seems that you have the blessing of the penguin, and you have no idea if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or why you were even gifted the blessing of the penguin. But I don't know if you want to hide that or not. But you have it on your wrist now, just a tiny little penguin.
I'm thinking I'm gonna wear the mark like proudly. I don't think I'm gonna hide it.
It's really cute too. Like when you look down at your wrist, you're like, damn, that's a really cute little penguin right there. And it's in full color. And you feel like you might have an understanding with them now. Like, yeah, chicks really do dig gold, and it's kind of sad that they don't like rocks anymore. Narco, do you take a sip of the drink?
Beep, you have reached Narco, as she is currently baking. Thank you for calling Delivery Deer LLC. You will be responded to as soon as possible. Goodbye.
The deer is conked out. Wonderful. Nyxaria, do you take a drink of this kind of concoction?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. As you take a drink of this, you suddenly feel very invigorated and stronger than you were. And you are kind of like waiting for your weird magical effect to happen. But then you kind of look at your nails and they kind of grow a little bit longer. And now there's like completely, they look like little icicle daggers. And, but they're like sharp.
Hell yeah. This is the best day ever.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So now you
My
have like,
job.
icicles. Orin, do you take a drink of the magic juice?
I do partake.
Wonderful. As you do, as the guardian, you are feeling all of these emotions at once. You feel the land, you feel the nature around you, you feel the penguins in the distance screaming at each other over the remains of their gold that they're having to give up. But everything in your world, in this place, is safe and happy, and people are thriving here. And as you kind of look up, you see that the night is coming and the aurora is coming, and tonight you are going to be able to paint something into the sky that has never been done before. You are going to be able to do something with the aurora that has never been attempted before. Tonight you're going to touch nature in a way that most guardians dream of. Princess Curie, do you take a drink of the strange juice?
Yes.
As you do, you kind of knock back a sip, and it seems to be refilling itself. So no matter how much or how little somebody takes, there's always enough for somebody else. And as you do, you feel this strange energy come over you. And as you do, you feel like you are hearing the land talk. You hear it singing the song of nature kind of around you in its own voice that usually people don't hear. And it is a beautiful song, even though maybe you were robbed by penguins and maybe the denizens of this court can be a little finicky and a little fey-like. You still feel the magic of this place, and you can start to hear things that maybe other people couldn't pick up on. but it's the sound of nature, the song of nature, and you can start to decipher some of its words, some of its song. And maybe if you spend a little bit more time on it, you can figure out what Lichen Tundra is singing of. Princess of Saffron Sands, are you deciding to, oh, bottoms up? That's okay. No, you don't have to use the mic. You can just text it. You can message it. Perfect. So you take a big, long drink of this concoction, and suddenly you feel yourself being transported back to your own sands, and you see a long-haired vampire handing over a star to your guardian. And you watch as your guardian sings that star back into the sky, something that nobody has ever seen, but you are given privy to this moment in time. You are witnessing it as if you were there. And the star kind of looks back at you, Princess, and says to you, "My sibling also fell in Merrill Tides. Please retrieve my sibling and have your guardian sing it into the sky so we may guide those in the court once more before it goes back into the sky." And you feel like at that moment there was magic at play. The guardian didn't hear it, and neither did the vampire. It was a message meant specifically for you. But it seems that in the murky depths of Merrill Tides, there is a star waiting to be found and returned back to where it belongs. Queen Dasana of Hyacinth Falls, do you take a drink of the magic juice?
Yes.
Wonderful. As you do, you feel it begin to invigorate your body, and the scar from the bite that you got begins to transform into this tiny little sliver that looks like it's like glowing now against your skin. And when you kind of look back at it, you see that it is actually a constellation that has grown over that bite mark now. And it's pretty, it's nicer than that bite mark, but it seems that this might be a star mapped to something. You don't know what, but the way that it formed on your skin is very, very curious. And maybe Ryuji might know something about that. All right, my queen of the Merrill Tides, are you taking a drink of the magic juice? And if you just need to type it out, that's fine too. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. Wonderful! So you take a sip of this magic juice, or magic soup, whatever you want to call it. And as you do, you feel on your arm something begin to form. And as you kind of look down at it, you see that you have a strange tattoo that is formed. And it looks like this kind of like crystallized flower. And as you kind of like run your fingers from the stem up to the flower, you realize that it is alive. And it seems like it might be some kind of magic you can explore. You've been granted some type of strange magic that if you kind of like can tap into it or figure out how to harness it, you might be able to make something new out of it. And then last but certainly not least, Rain, do you take a sip of the magic juice?
So Rain kind of looks at her princess, but she also is looking at her dragon, and then looks over at the Empress very, very warily. She doesn't quite trust being here, and takes the smallest sip possible.
You take a tiny little sip, maybe just touching it with the tip of your tongue, because you are very suspicious of everything in this court. And suddenly you feel your senses begin to waken up, and you feel like the corners of people's anxiety begin to invade your own mind. You feel Empress Elysia painstakingly fretting over every detail, trying to make her best impression. And you realize that maybe she had some type of front. Maybe she was nervous when she first met you. But it seems deep down inside of her heart, you can feel in your mind that she is authentic and kind in her own way, but maybe, just like you, was misjudged or misunderstood, and didn't know how to talk to other people at first.
So, quick question: is this? I'm just feeling the Empress's emotions, or am I feeling everybody else's around me?
No, you are feeling one person. I wouldn't do that to you, Rain.
I was like, wait, you're giving me anxiety person.
I've already broken you several times. I'm not trying to break you even more.
Okay. So she kind of moves over to her princess.
And you said, princess, you're gonna take the cup from Rain and take a sip yourself? Okay.
I didn't realize I was muted. Yes, I would take a sip after
Perfect.
Rain has.
Yeah, as you kind of take a sip, you kind of hear the flowers begin to talk to you, and the Foxglove Glen flower says, "We will take root in this ice, and a new species will be born here from your insincerity. Even though you did this for your own purpose, we will create something new out of it." And you feel the flowers begin to take root where you've left them. And as they do, they begin to turn into this blue and white flower that begins to glow. And a new species of flower has been made, a little bit with your druidic power and a little bit of you awakening to that power.
Awesome.
So there's now a foxglove of Lichen Tundra species of flower that is integrating into your court. All right. Anybody else? Queen Delphine, did you want to take a sip of the magic juju juice as you suddenly show up at the fire?
Heck yeah, I do.
Wonderful. As you take a sip, you see all of a sudden the princess of Foxglove Glen hands you the cup, and the rest of them kind of like look at you like, "Oh, where have you been? You've been here the entire time." You kind of wandered off for a little bit to go explore and build snowmen and have fun. And as you kind of come back, you take a sip of this kind of concoction. It's very sweet. It tastes very good. It's very warming. And as you do, you suddenly feel your hair begin to glow with starlight. Like there's tiny little stars in your hair. And every time you move, there's like this shimmer of starlight. It's like there's a galaxy within your hair now. And it's very, very pretty.
Ooh, I must need to wash my hair. I have too much phytoplankton left over in it still.
You might be careful. You might wash out some stars. And it's just, it shimmers in every moment of light that hits it. All right. As you guys finish drinking and kind of look around, you've seen a lot of interesting magical effects happen, and it's kind of really cool. Empress Elysia, do you have anything to say to these people that have partaken in one of your rituals?
I just would like to thank everyone for coming, and I do understand that first impressions are certainly the best impressions that we get of people, but often we can be a little misunderstood. And despite the Lichen Tundra being cold and not quite inviting, when you make the treacherous journey to our land, we will always be forever grateful that you came here, and you will always feel the gratefulness of that. So I would like to thank everyone for coming. And that's it.
Wonderful. Does anybody have anything to say to that, to the Empress?
Kiri kind of pipes up and he goes, "Thank you for inviting us in the first place. It's really an honor to be coming to Lichen Tundra for the first time, even though I'm not very used to the cold or ice or snow or penguins. It is a beautiful place."
Don't worry, I'm not quite used to it that much either. I'm too used to the spring of Hyacinth Falls. But, you know, when you can heat up the ice, it's better. A little better.
Ryundra steps forward and gives a deep bow and looks up at the Empress and says, Empress Alicia, I am so happy to be back and visiting, and I'm so grateful for your friendship, and I am so happy to see you looking so well.
Everyone is always welcome in the Lichen Tundra. The aura blesses all. It does not discriminate, and I shall take to that as well. Thank you for coming.
I nod my head in agreement.
As you kind of begin to look and work together and talk together and exchange stories, Orin, you feel it's time to call to the Aurora. And as you do, how does that look to you? Do you sing to it? Do you dance to it? How do you call the Aurora into being, Orin, over Lichen Tundra?
I use the oldest language that has existed in our realms, which is the language of the orcas, and the frequency is such a different frequency on land than it is in water that only some of the Fae can hear it, but for most people it sounds like something very, very distant in the snow, and so not everyone can hear what this little melody song is to make it happen.
And as you're kind of producing that sound that not everybody can hear, but few can, you all watch as the aurora begins to come into existence. It begins to go throughout the sky, weaving almost like a banner over. Become an animal, or do you leave it as it naturally is?
You cut out for 2 seconds. Will you give me my options again?
Yeah. Do you leave the aurora as it is as you sing it into the sky, or do you kind of change it into the different shapes of animals? Do you like make it different than as it is?
I make it different than as it is. It slowly starts turning into it looks like beautiful colors and shapes, and it slowly starts taking a turn into like, wait, am I seeing that happen? Like, are those turning into animals? And so it takes a little bit for people to like realize what they're seeing. And some people are still feeling probably the effects of what they had earlier. So they're like, wait, am I seeing this? Am I not? And before you know it, it's like very vivid, detailed. It's not like connect the dot stars kind of animals. Like it looks so 3D and vibrant.
And you see the denizens of the court ooh and ah, and they go, look, look, the spirits are coming back into the sky. You can see them. They're connecting with the guardian's song. And you watch as these kind of like light glowing almost like balls of like little starlight begin to float up from the ice of the Lichen Tundra, and they begin to shape into forms of people, ghosts of who they once were, spirits of the past. And you watch as people begin to cry as they go out and they talk with their ancestors and those that they came from, as Orin begins to show greater and greater detail of animals and people and nature. And you see the connection with spirits in a way that is beautiful and humbling. It's not the crazy insanity of Lavender Valley. It is this beautiful sweetness of reminiscing with their ancestors, of connecting with their wisdom, of learning from them, even though they have long passed. And those here that are trying to connect with an ancestor or somebody that came before you that is no longer here, you will have the option within these 2 weeks to reach out to them and gain the wisdom of the past. You gain the wisdom of those that came before you, connect with your ancestors. So if that's something you wish to do while you are in Lichen Tundra, you may do that. but you have the option to connect with those from your past.
Princess Kanara is going to take a time once it's appropriate to approach the Empress if she is open to that.
Empress Elysia is what are you doing, Empress? You see this princess kind of looking like she wants to talk to you. What do you do?
She's holding a silver crystal goblet and she's drinking some type of tea because she doesn't like drinking around people. She thinks it's inappropriate. So not that she has anything against anyone who drinks. That is completely up to you. She personally prefers to be in control at all times. So she doesn't really quite like drinking, but she will give everyone the most luxurious mead of like the world if she wants to. But she feels like the energy shift towards Kanara, and she looks at her and she says, she like waves her over, and then it's like a snow pile, like the attendees made a snow pile, so it's like a couch sort of made out of snow, and they just put fur over it. So I'm sitting like on that.
Kanara sits next to her. I believe we got off on the wrong foot, and me and my guardian had a different gift planned, but we have decided to change that gift, and my guardian has given me some of her trinkets to offer you if you would like.
I would be honored to take your trinket. So she takes the trinket. Could you explain to me like what it looks like?
Yeah. So this trinket is a small, almost opalescent marble, but as you turn and shift it, you can see the roiling of clouds into like a thunderstorm, and then calm and partly cloudy. And the more you turn it, the more that the sky changes.
So she puts it up to her eyes. She's like watching the aurora, and it's sort of like, if you ever watch Coraline, you know when the ladies give Coraline that triangle stone, and she looks through it, and the world looks different. That's kind of like what the marble does. She starts seeing these figures in the sky, and she sees the elders that raised her. This is like before Hyacinth Falls was like Hyacinth Falls, and it was a lost group of tribal fae that were originally indigenous, but they just slowly died out. And she sees them dancing in the sky, and she looks at Kanara with a smile, and she says, "This is the greatest gift anyone could have ever given to me. What was once lost is now found in the aurora, and I thank you for that." And she waves an attendee over, and she tells the attendee, "Give this princess to treat her like you would treat me, and give her whatever she'd like." And we just kind of like sit there and watch like the aurora, dancing about, and it's like beautiful.
Yeah, so Kanara would definitely start giving the Empress the hot gossip from the magpies of her area, which are very much like the penguins in their pursuit of shiny things. So she would definitely pass the time doing that, just telling her ridiculous things.
Love that.
So cute. As you all begin to continue to watch people connect with their ancestors, and Orin's song begins to finish over the aurora, its shapes becoming even more vibrant until it feels like they're living in the aurora that she is singing into existence. You watch as people begin to come together, hugging each other, talking to each other, and you feel like maybe your assumptions of what Lichen Tundra really was maybe a little bit off. Maybe there were things that happened in the past that made you believe things about people that weren't necessarily true, or maybe it was just a tough exoskeleton skin that they wore to protect themselves. But you all look out into that icy landscape, and you see a loved one of yours waiting to impart upon you the wisdom of their time. Somebody that loved and adored you and respected you is out there in the tundra waiting for you to talk to them once more. And that is where we will end tonight's session. You all will be here for a few weeks, so definitely reconnect with those from your past and get their wisdom. Impart upon their wisdom as you're here. Let them impart their wisdom upon you.
Yay. Thank you, Ashley. That was a lot of fun. That was really funny. I really like this
And
one.
Awesome.
And there's cake. So there will be cake. I forgot about the cake. I made a big deal about the cake. Recap, we're not done yet. As you guys are finishing up, you guys watch as the stones explode, causing a bunch of like colorful fireworks to be shot out, and the cake is there. And you watch as everybody says, "Happy birthday, Empress Elysia!" as the cake, the fireworks explode and the cake is there. And they begin to dish out cake. And the cake it's like this soft, delicious cream, and it has kind of like this winter berry on the inside, jam, and it is delicious. All right, happy birthday!
Thank you all for coming. I really hope that you enjoyed your time at the Lichen Tundra. And all are always welcome here, so if you would like to come, just shoot a message however way. We will receive it, and you will be allowed in without dying at the crystal doors and possibly perishing, but that's
No
okay.
muggings?
No muggings.
Okay, great.
The penguins have known the place. It's all dealt with. They don't want to lose their gold. I will make sure they pay a heavy penalty if they are to intrude on tourists and guests, royal guests.
And you realize, Empress Elysia, that maybe these penguins were the reason why you didn't get a lot of visits to the tundra. And maybe after a little bit of a strict discipline.
Perhaps. But, the tap dancing is kind of adorable. They do make for some mischievous entertainment, I must say.
It's true.
But that's the circle of life. You have to enjoy the small things and the big things. It's just how it is. One thing cannot survive without the other. What can I say?
And they are ridiculously cute when you put a little bow on them.
They are. With weapons, it's even harder to take them seriously. Honestly, I don't know how you guys lost against these penguins. A flick of your finger, honestly, would have blown them right back in the water. They must have really, really been pesterous, if that's even a word. I made up that word. I don't know.
Yeah.
They usually only rob you the first time you visit. After that, you're in the clear.
Yeah, they've gone familiar, and they just allow you to be. They just are very curious creatures, They don't have fingers, so they'll try to get their fins in whatever they can get in. So they don't have fingers, and they can't really. Yeah, they're making up for something that they don't have. Literally, yes. Yeah, haze.
A lot of ice and more ice. And more ice and more snow, so they gotta get creative somehow, and they're mischievous little bastards sometimes.
They're so cute and adorable, and I can't. They're so cute.
Put a bow tie on them.
They're so adorable.
As you guys say that, a baby penguin waddles up with its like super fluffy outer coat, and it's wearing a little birthday bow. Happy birthday, Empress Elysia! It's just so cute. It's like, you look at the little penguin and you're like, wow, how could we ever believe that it was a menace, and 2 hours ago? And it just kind of looks up at you with its big, beady black eyes.
You'll grow up to be a beautiful menace, I must say. Hopefully with better influential figures.
Yes, and we do good. We stab people that aren't good.
No, we don't stab people. We welcome them.
People.
We welcome them.
We steal people.
I will imprison you and your family.
Be
nice.
Empress Elysia's being
Oh, joke. It's a jest. So you get used to it. You're so cute. He's cute even when he cries, right? I mean, we should make him cry a little more. So adorable. So funny.
I want my
Yeah,
mom.
Go on to your family.
He waddles back to his mom, who kind of looks at you before like guiding it back to the pack that's kind of like further out.
They love me. They know that I jest. Fine.
And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Yay.
Yes. Welcome to the Penguin Apocalypse. You did survive, but you did get your shit stolen from you. And over the course of the next 2 weeks, that stuff will be returned slow but steadily through
Rain,
regurgitation.
you will get your belt back. I promise you. I will pull it out of the penguin's arsehole if I need to. We'll get it back.
I did get
I
my
will
belt
not
back.
wash it. Oh, you did. Okay, I'm not washing it though, and I'm not putting it anywhere near any of the Lichen Tundra tunnels. So you will have to bring your own water. BYOB. Bring your own bottled water. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I secretly had a spell the entire time that could just immediately get that the stuff out of their stomach, but I just like to see how new people handle it.
It's true. You want them to suffer a little bit, figure it out for themselves. You know, you can't spoon feed them everything, Orin. You gotta.
Yeah,
It's a tundra.
my wealth is about the land, and so when people are all about gems and gold and trinkets, I like to just put them through little challenges to see how they would handle not having those.
I agree,
those
Orin.
luxuries.
I totally agree. That's exactly while you were all suffering, I was watching from my tower, and I must say I was thoroughly entertained.